the spiritual healer, just making sure that I am up on both. So I'm on YouTube and Facebook all at the same time, usually each day, but normally much earlier. So this is a little bit later in the day for me. There we go. Okay. Now I see myself. Hi, Misty. So I am on. Okay. I want to make sure I was up before I start talking. Hello, hello. Hello, Tracy and Stacy. Hello, and Beth. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. And Angie, tell you something great. Well, I'm doing a general one tonight. Yesterday I did a bunch of readings for people. So, hello, Carlene and Tammy. Hello, and Cherry. Hello. So I was in twice today teaching. I did a meditation this morning, and then I taught my Goddess Within class for 90 minutes. So I spent a long time online today. So we'll see what tonight brings us. Let's see. Not often do I get to come in the evenings anymore. So this is a little bit different. I just got to close my blinds. Hold on. I hate to block out the sun, but it's bright out there, which I love to see. But so we're just letting some people come in and get in here and join us in here this evening. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are Facebook and YouTube same time, so we have people coming in from everywhere. Ashley, your brain is mush. So Ashley was in 2 of my classes today, so she knows all about where we have been today and the journey we have been on. And yes, our brains are. It's pretty much taking our minds to mush. So I know, right? I don't hate to hide this sun. And I love that our evenings are getting longer here in Alberta. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I mean, I'm sure they are lots of places too, but it's like in Alberta, it's just so nice that summertime comes and it doesn't get dark till like 11 at night, 10:30, 11. It's like, oh, it's heavenly. Hello, Jaden. Hello, Wendy. And Shauna, hi. Chantel, hello. Nicole, Linda, Heather, hi, hi, hi. Anyone else I didn't see? Hello. And to all those who just watched and don't comment, I know you're there. I can feel your energy. Thank you for being here with me. And Chantel, we got a few Chantels. Good evening. And so I'm going to just start with some general cards. I don't know what this is going to bring for us this evening. I don't know where we're going. So let's just see. Let's open it up with a card for everybody. If you have not, whoa, that card went flying. If you have not been following my deck or my daily lives that I do every morning, usually I'm in there. Hold on. Sorry. Had to pick up a card that I come in with my deck of Oracle cards that are still beta testing. I got to be able to get these to publishing soon. I got to finish up the book and we'll get these into publishing. But these are the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. The cover is on my wall right here. And she has this beautiful little angel here. So it's a little bit of a paradox kind of cards. It's a little bit this, it's a little bit that. They are cards of inspiration and attitude. And so these are my deck. And so if you haven't seen them, then welcome. You'll see me bring them up on screen. Any other cards I'm using, I will not bring them up on screen because they're not my deck. And I'm just using their cards as a reference. But these are mine. So the first card that came out is Imperfectly Perfect. And this is Gemma. And so she's truly about, waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect opportunity to speak. And I found myself in one of those situations myself today of waiting for that perfect moment. When do I say something? When do I speak up? When do you say what you want to say, what you need to say? And it's not in, something that's in my personal life. It is something that's in my family, like in my ancestors, in the story, in the history of Newfoundland. And I find myself wanting to take a stand and be a voice, but I need to get more information first. So sometimes it's not that you're trying to perfect things, is that you are is that you're not, it's not waiting for perfect. Sometimes you're waiting for the opportunity so that you have all the information when you do go to speak and you do go to stand up for yourself, or you find that voice to be courageous instead of doing what most of the world does and just like has this reaction, this response, and just go blah. All right. And so spiritually and emotionally matured is that I don't have any desire to just see something, react, respond, and just jump on that ship and go absolutely crazy and berserk. Is that I want to know, I want to get more details. So to gain different perspectives, to see what is happening, to see where things are. And so that's not perfecting things. That's spiritually, emotionally maturing. That imperfectly perfect card really comes up with the essence of letting yourself just be who you are, letting go of the need of control, of trying to control things, trying to perfect things, trying to put everything in place. And so this card really truly represents being that diamond in the rough, and that it's like everybody wants that perfect looking diamond, but ultimately in the end most of those diamonds pretty much look alike. Whereas you let yourself find like a little rough little Herkimer diamond, and it's not like everything else. It's not a carbon copy. It's not mass produced. It has flaws. And that's kind of who we're being told to let yourself be. Let you be that little bit of your flawed self. And that flawed, what you call flawed, I call perfectly imperfect, is probably the most true and authentic self that you can put out there. That's the part that draws people. That's who people truly resonate and relate to, is the real, authentic. And it doesn't mean that you got to spill your guts and share everything about you. It just means that you are allowing yourself to be seen as you are without having to put a facade on. And it's amazing or a face on that facade. And so it's amazing how many faces we wear, how many masks we wear, how many of us have that persona, right? So thank you, Gemma. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Gemma, right? She comes as a reminder. And, you look into her eyes. Her eyes are crystal clear blue, just like the sky that's been showing up lately, is that she is gazed directly ahead on just stepping forward as who she is. She knows she is a spiritual being having a human experience, and there's no way of perfecting the human. As much as you like to think there is, as much as you like to filter out the look, as much as you like to do all those things, you cannot perfect it. It's impossible. So living in letting yourself enjoy and embrace the experience, so much better for you. Hi, everyone else who's joining us. Wendy, I think I said hello to Jaden and Shauna. Joanne, hello. Colleen, Destiny, Shelley, hello. Angie, you are glowing with little circles of gold, of God's light on you. Could not hide it. Yes. So it's funny you say that, Angie, because I have spent all day, like all of my work that I did today was all in the God's will. And so I was channeling through messages and doing meditations and stuff that were all based in the God's will. And so that's where I've been. Hello, everyone else who's coming in to join us here tonight. I'm so happy to see everybody. I don't get many opportunities in here in the nighttime lately because I teach so much, because I spend so much time in teaching and Corrie School of Magic. And if you were not in my meditation today, if you weren't in the live meditation, you can still go in and you can do the full moon. It's a full moon meditation. It's going to run through for a while. And so you can go in, and it's by donation. You can go in and pay just $5 little and get yourself in to do that meditation. And it's a beautiful journey. So that's still in Corrie School of Magic. The link is on my Facebook page, or if you go to my website, you can go to CorrieThorne.com and you can get to my website in there as well. So next card that comes up is the Illusionist, and this card is number 2. And so this goes with the imperfectly perfect. This goes so perfect because we're always trying to compare ourselves. And so we get ourselves caught in the headspace and stories of, being, oh, I'm number two, trying to be the best. Like, and it's like, oh, I'm happy and content just being me. But in the meantime, you're always striving to still trying to compare yourself to somebody, comparing yourself in the eyes of seeing they got that. Why can't I have this? Why would they have it? Why do they have all the luck and why do I have none? Why? And we get so caught up that we don't realize that even if you're acting as if I'm all happy and I'm all positive, but you are comparing, criticizing, and judging, then you have something in your own story, your own mirror that you need to look in and have a little good talk with that reflection about what it is that is truly still there, because you are being the illusionist to the truth, and that you're hanging on to stories, you're hanging on to past, you're hanging on to something and a desire to become that other person or to become somebody else. And so in my Goddess Within series today, we worked on the essence of truly just, getting, every time that you start to judge and criticize and those things, you're not in your path and your journey into your destiny. You're actually living in the reflection of looking into somebody else's to see you. It's the same thing as living in somebody else's dreams. Why would you want to live in somebody else's dream? Right? It's like the fact that you're living in somebody else's dreams keeps you from living in your truth. And it brings you to anger, frustration, and also then trying to get somebody else to become what you want to be yourself, but you don't have the courage to be. And sometimes you have to just take a pause, take a step back, take a good look at yourself before you start judging anyone else again. And that's a truth. Okay. Well, look at that, Rhonda. Exactly. It's still there. No matter, no one else can keep you from doing that meditation because it's right there to do it whenever you can. Hello, Dolly. And Marley, hello. And I think I said, yeah, Ashley, I seen you. And Kevin, hello. Felicia, hi. Hi. Okay. So let's remove these cards now that we got our 2 cards in. I'll end with the 3rd card, okay? I'll end with the 3rd card. So I am feeling through the energy. Love you too, Rhonda. There's a dog digging up a bed behind us, acting all crazy in the bed. If you're hearing some like snorting noise, that's not me snorting. That's a dog. I'm not snorting. Okay, so let me see. Let me see what I have coming through. I don't have very long. I have to watch the time. Give me a moment, guys. I'm going back up through. Joanne Thorne, I have a card for you today. Joanne Thorne, I have a card for you today. I hope you're still here. Can you let me know if you're still here, Joanne? Hello, everybody who's joining in. I don't know if Joanna's still here. Okay. Interesting, Joanne. I might have to get. Oh, dear, yes, you are. I'm like, I've just got Joanne. I'm like, I feel like Joanna's still here. Why is she not answering me? Okay, I'm like, I was still feeling your energy, so I know you. I just felt like you were still here. Okay, so this card is for you. Ha! Oh, Joanne, you got the Corrie card. The awareness of the truth card is what you got. I'm just laughing. Laughing at this because this is kind of like stepping into the truth of who we are and the awareness of the truth. But yes, exactly. It's time lapse. I forget about the time lapse, Joanne. And so the awareness of the truth and what I'm getting right here. and what I pick up for you with this card. And this card came because there was this energy of, this was not a card that was meant for the deck. This card was a beautiful gift that was gifted to me. It was a portrait that was painted of me by the artist, Amelia Richard, who created the deck from my channeled messages. And she gifted this to me, and we decided it should go into the deck. And then we kept trying to spit it out of the deck, and we said, no, we don't want it in the deck. And then it ended up into the deck. And so the awareness of the truth is that everything, Joanne, that you keep trying not to be, or everything that you keep avoiding to be, is actually keeps showing up in your life for you to become that, to be that. And the awareness of the truth for me is that it's not this that's sitting right here. It's not all the imagery that here. It is the blue that I'm seeing. I am seeing the blue. So I'm seeing that sense of the spiritual connection, your connection to the divine, your connection to the divine mother, your connection to the divine mother, and your connection to, I want to say it's like the connection to, I want to say Mother Mary, but somebody's kind of trying to stop me and say, no, we don't do Mother Mary that way, or we don't say Mother Mary that way. So I don't know if that was like religion based or faith based for you growing up, that Mother Mary would be connected to in a different way. So divine mother. And I just feel like that connection to divine mother, divine energy, and just knowing that whatever is happening, I just feel like there's like a change, like there's a transformation that is happening for you or through you. And I feel like you are, experiencing some sort of, like, I don't know. I just feel like something is about to change in the family or change around again for you. But being content with who you are. Joanne, whoever the hell you used to get compared to, or wherever that comparison kind of comes in, it's like, you know who you are. Why would you need to be like, explain yourself or compare yourself? And so that resonates with you. And I'm like, stop doing that, because, it's just being content in who you are. It is that beautiful self-love, that beautiful contentment, being at peace. And this is Contessa. And so Contessa is telling us all about being able to be like content. And I just feel like you're finally starting to get to that point where, you're stop comparing yourself. You stop using that criticizing yourself. And hello, Lisa Richard. I was trying to stay off my live until I figured you were done your full moon. And I think I kind of came in right around the time you should have been finishing. So Contessa is, Joanne, it's all about just being you, being content with who you are, and just letting yourself kind of flow into whatever's coming. And I'm like, don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. And Joanne, I don't know who would have done this. I just had a man scratching at his scruff. Like he had scruff. And he's like scratching at his scruff on his face. And he's doing this to you. And he's like, that's cute. That's interesting. And I'm like, and he's like, would scratch his, I don't know if he had like really rough beardy type, or like his facial hair was very like rough, and he would get like shadow hair really quickly, but he's doing that, Joanne. And he's just like, and he came in quickly. Like I had to move into him, shift into his energy. And he's just here. He's just present. I feel like he's a listener. He just listens in on things. He waits before it's like, he tells me sometimes he has opinions. I have thoughts and opinions. And I don't know if someone just didn't listen to his thoughts and his opinions, but he's with you. And he's there with you. So I don't know where he comes in or who he is for you, but just know that he's like, I'm listening. You can give your worries to me. You can tell me anything that you need to tell me. And I don't know what it is that you need to tell him, or what you need to just kind of let go, like not let go to, but just like be done with. A story to just be done with it so that you can move forward. And wherever that comes in for you, Joanne, I hope that resonates with you, and it fits, and it fits with you and your life. So thank you. I swear I have these shifts that are happening so quickly around me. My whole body just keeps moving like this. Like I can't stay in. Like it just keeps, it moves me. I was downstairs last night and I went to speak something to my partner, Corrie. You're very welcome, Joanne. So I went to say something to him, and when I did, and it was about Russia, I went to speak about Russia. And when I did, I went, and it wasn't a bad thing. It was just I went to speak about it, and my whole energy just shifted. And I could feel myself shift. And I'm like, oh, we have so much on the go. We have so much happening out there in this universe. And it's like we need to like sit back and pause, man, because this rage energy that's out there is like it's destructive. It's disturbing a lot of things. And I don't know. I don't know. It's all I got. There's something going down. But let's get back to the love and light stuff first. No, Stacy, I'm not off of balance at all. It's just like somebody pushes me. Somebody's always pushing me out of the way is what it feels like to me. It's like somebody literally shoves my body. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. Yeah, it knocks you out. Yes, it will. Like sometimes this energy is like, it's so like just, you may be needing more naps. You may be needing to rest more. It is. It's a lot of energy. Ah, oh, I hope you can get it figured out, Catherine. Okay. Uh, Charlene Wright, are you still here? Oh, there you are. Just as, okay, Charlene Wright, I have a card for you as well. You're my next on. Oh, I got to put the cards back into the deck. So you're next on my list, Charlene. Oh, happy to see you too, Roberta. As I said, I have not been in many of my evening lives because I teach so much, because I work, in Corrie School of Magic, I pretty much teach 4 nights a week, and some Sundays, plus all the other stuff. So it's been busy. It's been very busy. Good busy, but busy. So, Charlene, you have the cosmic beauty, Zoran. And she's all heart-centered, and she's also sacral. So there's a lot of emotional stories that are playing out for you. You've got like a web of emotional stories, threads that are tied to the past or tied to somebody in particular. I don't know who you're trying to be enough for or what you're trying to fix around you, and you're just like, just stop. Like, it's like, you don't have to do that for anyone else. You have to do things for you. You have to do the things that are going to bring your heart truly into your truth, into your alignment. I just had a woman step in with me as I start to bring you up, and I hope she resonates with you as I bring her through. I don't try to pinpoint her. I'm not going to try to pinpoint her exactly, but she walked right in front of me, and she took the oracle cards and she put her hands on them and she tried to organize them. So, Charlene, that perfectionism that you got did not just, you just didn't get that somehow. There's somebody over on the other side that has that perfectionism, always putting things back into place, like tidying things up, having to bring things back together. Oh, we better just put this back into place. It's like, oh, one thing might be at a place. And I feel like they might have just done that with only certain things. And then other things around her, she just like let it go. But some things, it was weird. It's kind of like only certain things she was very fussy about, like OCD. I feel like if it was like she walked past something, she had to push it into place. She'd have to fix it. And other things around her, she didn't care about. Like, not that she didn't care. She didn't worry that it was all into place. And she tells me you do the same kind of thing, that you have that you do. And so this is where the threads and the stories is like, if it's that sometimes you're so busy trying to fix things that you can't walk away from things. It's like you just got to get the last word in or put the last piece in. That is who you are. Yeah. Well, you didn't come by just by yourself. You got somebody on the other side that shows me that. And so you also got the diamond effects, which is the card that I just shared on Instagram before I came in here. And so that reflection, that effects, right? So what we do right now really truly we see the effects of tomorrow, the next day, maybe not even tomorrow, maybe a year from now. But what you start to change now, what you put your focus into being the change within yourself, to become the change agent in your life, truly, truly is so that you can have a different outcome in the future, so that you can feel differently moving in, so that you don't take this habit, this over here, into that future. Because whoever, whatever it is that you are so focused on freaking fixing right now, you're being told that you need to like let this go, because your heart is the only thing that is being kind of like shadowed over. It is not being, it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's like truly that, it's like sometimes when you're in that energy, it's like you're envious of other people that are like going on with their lives and doing, and you're like, well, how come that's not happening to me? It's because your focus is in other people and not in you. And so you got to start bringing the focus into you to start to be able to see that change that you want to see. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, ah. And I'm like, and I got this kind of character over to the side of me. And I'm like, I don't know if this was ever a real person or if this is just like, I'm going to say it just as it is. And this might sound freaking crazy. He's like an elf. He's like an elf. He's like, he has like ADHD. He's bouncing around and he's like, yeah, you tell her that's how it is. Yeah, that's how it is. And it's like, he's like, and I want to say he feels like he's like around 15, 16 years old, and he might be older than that, but he kind of acts that childlike energy. And so he's like, just like, and I don't know if he ever was human or if he was human and then passed away, but he's very strong in that kind of like elfy kind of energy. It's like he's mischievous. He bounces in over my shoulder. I don't know if he would have been family or if he'd just be a friend, but he bounces in and he comes in on the right side of me is where I'm feeling him. And I literally got to move out of his way because he's just like, yeah. He's just like bouncing. And he's like, almost like dancing to the music type of thing. His body is like vibrating. So he's a very vibrating kind of energy. And you're being told to just like let go and let the love that is over here for you, let it in. Because the love that's over here from your guardians, from the beings that are out there for us, that are truly here to help you, surrender it so that they can help you, so that you don't feel like you always have to be the one who is sacrificing all of you on this earth. Because you're always sacrificing all of you. And it's time for you to be able to just breathe, and have a little bit of fun with that. I hope that resonates with you. And thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do that for you. I so appreciate it. All right. I'm going to act this woman out because I don't even know where she belongs. So I have a woman coming in now for me, and she's got her, and I'll know her when somebody hits on her. So it sure does, Charlene. Okay, yay, good. Okay, so I have this woman. Thank you. I have this woman here, and she's very like she's very much, she crosses her legs, and she's got her legs crossed, and she sits to the side and she swings her legs, and she's always swinging her leg, like her leg was always going. And I feel like she was always in conversation, she was always talking, and she was always swinging her legs. And she's like pretty much taking over my body here. She's fully stepping in, she's owning the room, she's owning the space, and she's like, yeah. And so she's coming in for somebody. I don't know who she's here for yet, but my whole back is heating up. I'm on fire here. She loves dress pants, not jeans. She didn't wear jeans. No, she did not wear jeans. She was always dressed up. She only ever dressed up. She dressed up like she was going somewhere special almost every day. She had somewhere nice to go. She talks with her hands. And I don't know if she used to smoke at one point or like these long cigarettes, or if she just talks with her hands. But her mouth is very defined. So I feel like she like overpronounced her words. and she very much overpronounced her words. Does it sound like your grandmother, Stacy? So was your grandmother a little bit kind of like acted hoity-toity, but really wasn't hoity-toity? Like she just got this presence about her. And I feel like she might have even had like a specific chair that she would sit in. I'm asking her for more details. I feel like she possibly even liked like I don't know if she used to go get her hair permed or colored or something, but I feel like she used to like going to socialize, and she liked doing those kind of things. And I don't know why, but I feel like her perm was like all put in together, and her hair was combed, like it was always put together. Like she's very put together. She knows I'm a hairdresser. She knows I was a hairdresser by trade, and so she tells me that it's about the hair, and the hair is in place. I don't know, Ashley. I think her hair is too thick, but we'll see. So Stacy, does it still sound like your grandmother to you? And I feel like I got like yeah. Yeah, Wendy, it kind of does. Like it's just like she kind of. So Stacy, if you could let me know. Um and she feels like she's got, that does sound like her. Okay. So um I'm like, we're letting her take over here now. We're letting her take her space. We're letting her come in to feel her. She's got full kind of control. So I guess I got to kind of move the mic back a little bit because we got to give her space to get in. So I keep getting like, I don't know if there's like a tie to like somebody like Elizabeth, like whether it's the Queen Elizabeth, or she's referring to being like the queen in the family and she was the queen in the family, or it's like there is Elizabeth, or there is Elizabeth, or it is like the queen, or she liked the queen, something like that is coming in. So does that resonate with either Ashley or Stacy? Something about Elizabeth or being like the queen, like being that way. And I feel like, no, she was always dressed in dress pants. I got to go with Stacy here for a moment. I got to stay with Stacy for just a moment, Ashley. So I hope this resonates here somewhere here. And it kind of sounds like your dad's mother. Okay, let me go with what she has for me. Okay, so I'm going to give you the rest of what she has for me, and then I hope she comes in with you. So she does like to play cards. She loves either cards, bingo, like that kind of stuff. Anything where she would have gotten to go, anything where she would have gotten to socialize. She tells me that like people are good for your soul. So I don't know if she used to go to, that's the grands, my mom's mom was Elizabeth. Okay, I really feel like it's Stacy. That's why I'm sticking with Stacy. I really feel like this is for Stacy. So I'm going to stick with Stacy for now, and if it changes, then we'll. So she tells me something about really truly like loving to socialize. I don't know if you had some sort of tie to church as well, and going to church as well with this Stacy, or where she was or where she belonged there. And so the Elizabeth is what really stands out to me. She brings up the Elizabeth. She brings up that energy. A Southern Belle, love church. Yes, that's her. Thank you. That's her. Okay, so I'm like, oh no, ma'am, we go to church. Like we do this church stuff. And she's like, very like, we got to go to church. We got to do this. And so she's very much there. She points it out. So I don't know if it's like church gatherings or something, and gathering for church. And so she's telling you, Stacy, or talking with her hands. She's telling you that you don't socialize enough. You're not out with enough people, and that's half your problem. It's like she says, and it's something about you and not trusting people or feeling like you can't trust people. And she's like, listen, just because you've met some assholes don't mean that you can't trust people. And she's probably not using the word asshole. I'm giving it kind of a little bit of a no. She says, no, I am using that word. Just because people treat you that way, it doesn't mean that that's how that don't mean everybody is like that. And she's telling you that this is about trust. And she looks out the corners of her eyes at you. And I don't know if she used to sometimes even wear like the glasses on the string, but she's like, it's like you just got to get back into faith and trust and being able to be around people. And she loves like that crispy white, like that white, like everything to be. She's so right. Yes. She's like, she's watching you. She's like, she's praying for you in spirit world. She's like bringing that forth, that it's like, there's so many places where you will find where you belong, where you fit in. And so it's just, you're just being told that, you really have to like start pushing yourself out more. And just because she says, don't listen to the world. Don't listen to the world. Listen to yourself. She said she always listened to the voice of God. She always listened to that voice of God. She listened to her truth. She knew, man. She just knew. And so she also feels like she was a very good like cook or something. Like she had like that, I feel like that kitchen smell. Like she loved her kitchen. She loved to host. She loved to feed people. She loved to be connected to people. And she says, and that's what's wrong with you, is that you've lost that connection. And I don't know where that went astray or where you lost that path. And so, yes, she wore those glasses that way. Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, she's got her glasses. It's almost like she's putting her glasses on to the end of her nose. And she's just like, we just want to be able to, it's like, she's almost like she's reading something for you. Like she's reading her own little verses. And so I feel like she probably read her Bible a lot, or she read like a lot. She did a lot of reading. She did a lot of things. And she says, right until she couldn't do it no more, right until the end, she says, I still wanted to be around people. And it's like her little leg is just going. And she's just like, and she says, I'm sitting watching you. I'm patiently waiting for you to ask me for help. And you don't ever ask me for help. And she says, it's like you forgot that you could ask me for help. And she says she has a lot of pride. And she says, and you have a lot of pride, and you have too much pride to sometimes ask for help. And you need to start asking for help where you need it. And she said, it's like you're just waiting, like it's almost like you're waiting for the world. You're waiting for the world to come to you. She says, and you can't wait. She says, it's like, so you get the stargazer, you get Frida, and she's in reverse though. So it's the attitude that you're waiting for something to come into your life, or you're waiting for happiness, you're waiting for peace. And she says, it's not coming that way. That's not the way that it's coming. And she says, if you pray to us, I didn't even shuffle the next one. If you pray to him, if you ask, and she says it'll show up for you. It's just not going to probably be the way that you want it to. See, listen to the elders. It's like look into the light, look into the pride that they had, and the pride as a woman she had. And she says, and it's like, yeah, sometimes you got to let your pride go and ask, and you need to ask for help, ask for guidance, but it's time for you to get yourself back in with a group of people. It's time for you to be somewhere where you fit in. And she's like, I'm watching you, and I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to be making sure. And if you don't start doing some things for you, she's going to keep bugging you. And you're going to know that she is around and that she's with you. But she's there with you. She tells you you are not alone. And she says you have so much of her in you. And she said it's time for you to let that light shine. And I want to like break out into like song. I want to break out into song. And so Wendy, thank you, Wendy, because Wendy is a musician. And I think, Wendy, you got it. It's like, it was like, it's like that whole Southerny Belle, like the praise of like, I want to say our Southern women of country from years ago, that type of thing. That's what she felt like for me. Yes, she did, until the last day she was in public. I love you, Gran. She's so right. Yes, exactly. Right. She was always in that public eye. She was always around. And then finally it was like, she couldn't do it in the end. And she says, until she couldn't do it no more, she was there. And that's what she tells you. And so for you to step into that and just know that she's there, and she gives you like the biggest hugs, the biggest kisses, and just like, mwah, like, just like, mwah. She just loves you dearly. She's encouraging you. She is inspiring you. She is your inspiration right now. She's sending prayers from heaven, and she's sending in love from heaven. And she's truly in heaven, she says to tell you. Yes, there is a heaven, and I am there. And she says, and so she gets to look beautiful as she always did. And that's what she's there to tell you. And it's time for you to get back into your beautiful little ray of light and be you, because who you are is enough. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Michelle, hello, Corey. I saw your live readings and posted shares many times. A close friend of mine is on here, and I just noticed this live. Well, thank you for coming in, Michelle. I'm glad you're here. As you get to see me do a live mediumship. And I don't do a whole lot of my live mediumship so much lately. I've been taking a real break to do some healing in my throat. And thank you to Kevin and for Ashley for also stepping up here. If any of this message resonates with you, then there's something in here also for you. You so needed that tonight? Well, yeah, that's how it works. Hey, Stacy, that's how it comes in. It's like when we need to hear it, it comes. So if you don't get a message tonight, that I can guarantee you that keep coming back, because you never know when it's coming in for you. And that's why I love my morning messages, is because the cards are for everybody. There's a message for everyone. Right? It's like, yeah, thank you, Heather. Yeah, it's like, I love to be able to do this. I love my work. And I just know that when I do it, I always want to be in my full healthy self when I'm doing it. So when I'm not healthy, or when I don't feel like I'm feeling well, I'm guaranteed that I will rearrange, reschedule, and I will move stuff, because when I do it, it comes from the purest of love. I want to be in wide open channel. So, so thank you. Right, Wendy. Yeah, I'm like, thank you, Wendy. Thank you for clicking into that. That was beautiful. I love it. I love when people got little, yeah, it's like that over pronunciation of words. My daughter actually does that, and she's actually a Newfoundlander originally. Okay. So I never know who I'm choosing. I just choose the names that come through to me. So let me see. I'm asking. I'm always asking who's next, or who's for the readings. Um, Lauren, are you still here? Lauren McCallum. 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 Lauren, are you still watching? Just want to see if Lauren is still here. I do give a moment. People come and people go. Okay, I'm not seeing Lauren, so maybe she had to step away. That's funny, Michelle. As I read her a little while ago. Well, isn't that perfect? You got to see that. Okay. So I have one more person that the name is really popping out at me, and I want to go back to her. And that's Ashley. So I want to go to Ashley first. Stay with me, Michelle. Stay here. So Ashley. Are you still here? I have to wait for the delay. Ashley Armilla, if you're still here. Okay. Where'd Ashley go? Okay, there she is. I'm going to say, I feel your energy still here, just like I did Joanne. So Ashley, I do have a card for you. And you got benevolence. You got Perphone. And so this is truly about like admiration, being admired. And I feel like this is kind of, so I'm going to go with what I'm getting with this, and it is 33 is the number. So I feel like it's like you're being tuned in and ascended up, like really starting to tap in or connect in. Um, I'm going to go with the fact that I know I have spirit with you tonight. I know you have loved ones here. And I know that there is something more powerful that you're asking for within. And it's nothing that you're going to laugh at this. Okay, listen, just like the rest of your life, you want the frickin' impossible again. You just keep wanting the impossible. I can't give you the impossible. Even from over here, I can't give you the impossible. What you need to do yourself. And what you need to do yourself. And with that, I got Sacred Sarah. I got the beautiful butterflies. I got this beautiful, like darling of an energy. But I can tell you, the women coming in weren't always darlings. They're good, kind people. They were benevolent. They were kind. They were good. But don't fuck with them. Don't mess with them. And that was kind of a part of the energy that came with them. But I have a man who's coming in, and it's not anyone who, I don't think, it's like he's kind of he's like moving these women out of the way. So these women are being moved out of the way. And this man is like, he's shorter, he's jollier. He's kind of like, I feel like he looks at the women and he says, yeah, you're being called out, right? The women called you out, and then this man comes through like through a curtain, and he's shorter, he's jollier, he's happy. He looks up at the women and he says, she's letting me in and not you girls. And so he's like making fun of them, he's laughing at them. But I feel like he was a part of your life or a presence in your life somehow. He feels like he may possibly be like a grandfather. He feels like he possibly is a grandfather. And he's like, he's the one who just kind of says, like, I'll just tell her straight as it is that, it's like, what you hold on to is that fact of like, you do a comparison. He says, you keep comparing apples to oranges. You keep comparing things of, I did this for so-and-so, but people don't do the same back for me. And he says, that's what all of the women do. And he's like calling them out, and he's Grandpa Pete. And he's like, they all did that. Look, we do this. We're doing this for somebody, and somebody's not doing the same for me. And he's like, and I'm like, he's kind of like calling them, he's like calling it out for what it is. My Gram's love of her life. Oh, okay. Yes, okay. So no matter what, they loved each other, right? So he could talk like this, and he's still going to be in the good books, right? Okay. And he's just like, he says, I listened to this many times. I heard this many times. And if I let them women speak, they're all going to jump on board with you. They're going to start agreeing with you. He said, but we're going to start disagreeing with you because you're not right. And he says, you want to be right, and you're not right. He says, he says, not that you're not sometimes right. He says, but you're not always right. And he says, so now, he says, you're letting some of that go, and that you're starting to kind of let yourself like, are you ready to let yourself grieve now? Are you finally ready to let yourself grieve? Because that push and pull is all that you've been doing to avoid what you need to do. He said, because you're like all the other women in the family. You just keep going and going and going and going and going. And all that comparison is not that you just want someone to disagree with you. You want somebody to disagree with you. And it's like, so you're looking for something. And he says, it is time for you to step into like those parts of your grief that you need to do. You lost a lot of loved ones. You lost a lot. And by losing a lot of those loved ones over the spirit world, they're still here. There's this sense of yourself that he's kind of saying, it's time for you to do this now, so that you don't carry this energy any further with you. He wants you to set yourself free of it. And he's like, I'm also here. It's not all about the women, and the women are not always right. And he says, and not everybody is out to get you, and not everybody is trying to be mean to you. Right. And so he's just telling you like to just stay present, to just stay with you, stay connected, and do your healing, because it's peaceful perspective. And he does point out like, um, he points out, your beauty and the beauty in the family and the beauty in the women. And he's like, just like he says, finally, it is time for someone in this family to be at peace. He said, because it's like you are all never fully at peace. And it's you, Ash. It's you, Ashley, that has to break this cycle. That we don't have beautiful, angry women running around in the family. And that you can be free of that. And you can let yourself be free of that. And to be able to come into, and so 6 is also the power of 3, right? And so you have a lot of that beautiful Trinity energy coming to alignment to set yourself free of that, to let yourself be in the happiness and joy that is waiting for you, that is truly there for you. And you have a lot of beautiful blessings in your life. And now it's like you want to be able to enjoy it. And so it's like now you're coming full circle. You're coming in, you're ending that cycle. You're letting things end. Just shuffle them up and I got the same card again. Peaceful perspective, right? And this is Paisley. And it's just letting go. It's like holding on to, it's like when you're trying to hold on to the past, but also bring the future forward, you can't, because you can't take the past forward with you. You got your memories, you got your joy, you got your happiness, you got all of those things, but you have your family. You have your family and you have your home and you have your world that is waiting for you. And so it's time for you. It is time for you to let yourself have that. And he'll take care of these women. He'll take care of these women. And just let him do that. He'll take care of them. You take care of what you got to take care of over there. And he says, I promise you, shake on it. And he's shaking it with you. He's making a deal with you. He's good at making deals. And he's like, I shake on it with you. I promise you. And so he's promising you do your part and he'll do his part. And you're going to feel that joy. You're going to feel that peace in your heart. It's coming. So I hope that message helped you in some way. See, you didn't get the woman. You got the man. You got the man. And Beth, all is well on yours. So Beth, all is well for you, okay? I want you to know that. You're welcome, Ashley. Beth, all is well. Don't let anything but your happiness and joy fill your life. And so you're riding, Beth, you're riding the wave. You're riding the wave. Your heart is wide open. Just, some days are good days. Some days you feel good. Some days you don't. It's okay. You still got a process going on, Beth, and letting yourself go through that. And it's just ride the waves of your emotions, of the happiness and joy. But there's a lot of beauty in your world. There's a lot of good things, Beth, in your life. And so there's a lot of things to be thankful for. And I feel like put your focus in there. So Beth, you also got the she is. She is her own creation. Beautiful healing. You are being blessed. You're being wrapped in that same love that you had from beginning till today. And it is still with you, Beth. So, and that's Beth Twin. So live in that beautiful, that beautiful energy and just ride the wave that some days are not going to be always, not always going to be the best. So there's something about futures. And I always say it's not about what your future holds for you. It's about what you're going to do today to bring forth the feeling of being able to feel like you can start to have that sense of joy, excitement to get to move towards the future. Okay, I'm going to go quickly to Michelle, and then I got to go quickly to Edie. I have an angel card for you, Edie. So, Michelle, there is some attitude stuff coming up around you. And by attitude, I don't mean you have an attitude. I mean things that are in reverse. So it's like there's things that we talk about that we want to see happen or we want to change, but our actions are not in alignment. So you have some things, and so you have the observer and you have benevolence, Perphone, and both are in reverse. That shows me that there's something that is not in alignment to you being able to get to that future self. And I feel like some of that truly is like, so the observer is really coming into, it's like you're observing everyone else's life, you're looking at everyone else's life, and I don't know where you have a comparison happening, but you're doing some comparison. And so you have to become the observer of your own life, of what am I doing today? What am I doing today that's keeping me from being able to be able to see myself even in that future? What is happening? What story am I staying attached to? What am I holding on to? And so you're not being very kind to yourself. Let me put it that way to you, Michelle. Sometimes you're not being very kind to yourself. You judge yourself. And so the comparison that you have is you. And I feel like you are always like, so benevolence, to be the best human being that we can be, to be kind, also includes ourselves, and that you have to include yourself in the being kind. And so you're not including yourself. You're making yourself like kind of like the last on the list. And it's like, and so if you want to be well, you got to do something to be well besides work on everybody else. And so to become the observer of your life, is you're being told, is that there is this, there is that change and that shift that is there for you. Something is holding you back. I do have somebody here that has a one-sided problem. And I don't know if it's a neurological condition or if it's somebody who had a stroke or somebody who was like always leaning over to one side. It's like one arm, I stopped being able to move. It's like I wanted to tuck the arm in and I wanted to lean in, and my ear is like ringing. So I don't know if somebody had like a stroke, a heart attack, or something of a neurological, and it's almost like genetic, like family linked. And it's like you're always, well, we had it in the family. It happened in the family. It's happened to everybody that I know. So it's going to happen to me. And so it's like a broken record. It is just like, it is not, doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you. It doesn't mean it's going to come into your life. And it doesn't, sorry, I was smudge on my screen. And it doesn't mean that you have to like, I just like wiping out. We're wiping out the old story is what it feels like to me. It's like there's so much there, and it's really truly like a paralyzing story that's underlying somewhere in your life, Michelle. And I don't know if it was originally yours or if it belonged to like somebody in the family, but you carry it. And so you have to be the observer of your life to notice and pay attention to your words, pay attention to how you speak to yourself, and become very aware of how you are communicating to yourself, how you're speaking to yourself every day, because it's time for you to be able to, stop doing that to yourself. It's time for you to just stop and pause. Everything that you need to be able to move forward tomorrow got to happen in today, right here. And so it's like when you look in, you're like, well, they have it, I want it. The same story, and we don't realize we do that so often. So there is like, and I just get this sense of like trying to catch my breath. So you're not breathing, Michelle. You're not breathing all the way down, girl. You're like breathing like right here. You're stuck like right here. It's like you're in this rush, this panic, and it's like, breathe, breathe, breathe it all the way down. The breath is our connection to source, and you have to be able to breathe it all the way down. Let it come all the way down, right? Yeah. And so it is. There's such a struggle, and it's like, we got to start right here today, like right where you are. This is the beginning. And so can be the beginning of a start of something, but you have to start right here, right now. And it starts by making a choice to choose you, to start making a choice now to make those changes. And however that works, and like, I got some great programs that can help you. And so you're really truly starting to put your focus into just observing your own self right now, listening to you, listening to what you do, listening to how you speak to yourself, listening to all of that energy. So thank you. Yes, Regina, there's a lot of sad out there. But that doesn't mean that so you got to live in your own personal, I'm not getting off the faith train, man. I'm riding this faith train. I've been in the dark night of the soul. I took that journey. I've been at the depths, and I can tell you there's still light, because my light still was shining. I was still able to show up. I was still able to do it. And so also, Michelle, just so you know, and most people that follow me for a long period of time, they know this story. When I was 32 years old, I was told to go home and just quit working, like just give up, or else I wouldn't be able to feed myself, or else I wouldn't be able to walk. And the worse I got, the more they told me that, the more I fought hard to hold on to my job, to my life. And I spent 30 years in the beauty industry. And so I was so fighting the cause to prove people wrong that I was crippling myself. When I returned to here, to come home to me, I'm like, I started to ask myself, what do I really need to do? Do I need to keep working so hard to prove to people or to prove to doctors that, it's not going to take me down? Or do I need to accept something? So I needed to start to accept. So I started to accept that, yes, I have a condition. Yes, it was all the stress in my life. It was all the trauma, things that I held on to. It was my own, it was PTSD. So I had a label, I got diagnosed, and I had a neurological condition. I lost all feeling in my hands, my feet, but I still had movement. I still had grip. But I had to surrender over the condition. I had to surrender over and say, you know what it is there. So I have to start doing something radical, which means I have to start caring for me. In learning to care for me, I eventually found myself, building up my life in a new way, living my life in a healthier way, making myself a priority, getting well, getting healthy, not focusing on the illness, because that I had already accepted, not focusing on the fact that could possibly end up in a wheelchair someday, but that could happen to any of us out there. We don't know where we are going to be. So that statement is a half-ass statement. And that's the whole part of my book, More Than Existing, is that when you're just existing, you're living in the half of everything, the half-ass truth, the half-ass, but it's like, but when you're over here in your truth and you know your truth, it's like, yes, I accept that that's happening because I can feel the freaking pain. I know it's real, but it doesn't own me, because that story that in a wheelchair, or that story that somebody could feed me, well, that could happen anytime. And if I sit home waiting for a neurological condition to happen to me or to take over my life, then I'm going to waste my life. But I do have to make changes. And one of them was that I had to make some big changes in my life. So I changed everything. And I started to really make myself a priority. And in making myself a priority, I now no longer hairdress. I eventually had to leave that industry. And I eventually started to live this life. And so this is my life. And this is what I do. Do I still have things in my body? Yeah, it's called reminders. It reminds me when I'm doing too much, when I'm stressing too much, when I'm taking on too much, and it says stop, pause, let it go, ask for help, let people help you. And that's where your life starts to change. And when you start to really do those things, things change. Right? Yeah. So when we talk about being so sensitive, it's like, it's not always that you're sensitive, it's that you are reacting and responding because you experience trauma. That's called PTSD. It's not that you're sensitive, is that you've been rubbed, you've had every bit of your nerve endings in overdrive for so freaking long that it becomes reactive and responsive. And you think then that fight flight energy is the way to, that's normal. And we call it sensitive. That's not sensitive. That's suppressed feelings and not being able to be connected, or feeling like you can associate and connect it to anything in particular, because it doesn't have anything. It is your body storing every single word, every single emotional attachment that you've taken to what somebody else has said to you, what somebody else has done to you. And all of those things has its effect on you. And that's where you have to start from. Start from there. Yes. So start with this. It's called More Than Existing. We have to take ownership and responsibility for our lives. And it starts with us. And we have to claim what we can own, and we have to reject what is not ours. So what somebody else threw onto you as if you were the dumping station, that's their garbage. You're going to give that back. It's not mine. It's not mine. Okay. See what you just did, Michelle. You wanted to get to the future. You can't get to the future if you don't fix the now. Not that you can't, you'll get to the future, but you'll end up doing the same repeat things in the future. So your future will look a lot like your today if you don't get that worry and stress stuff under control today, right? So your future will look just like your today's if we don't make the changes within us in the power of the now to bring forth the future that you're really here to live. That's habit. Because what you're doing is it's easier to avoid. Going that way without doing this is only taking that baggage with you. You will be just as exhausted as ever. You'll be just as exhausted as ever. Edie. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, Edie, my dear, sweet Edie. I love you dearly. And so, Edie, I have an angel card for you tonight. And I feel like this angel card is to be for inspiration for you. And this is Zedekiel. And I know, Edie, the angels are with you in so many ways, and your guardians are with you, and your beautiful children are with you. And this is Zedekiel. And Zedekiel is the beautiful angel that also comes in when we have to really start to look at the violet flame and being able to let things burn away, such as the fact of, what we're unwilling to forgive. Like when we're holding on to things that it's like, so Archangel Ezekiel tells you that they're here to help. They will help. He will help you to find tolerance and forgiveness. He works on the violet ray of purification and transmutation, helping you to release lower vibrating energies and ascend to a higher way of being. Angel wisdom suggests that you visualize yourself in that violet ray. That is also the ray that Mother Mary works out of. So the beautiful Mother Mary, like Zedekiel, works in the violet flame. And so in the violet flame, and we invoke Archangel Zedekiel and Mother Mary to help you tonight. Place your troubles and difficulties within this flame so that all the negativity that you are bringing in or speaking within yourself or feeling within is transmuted and comes back to you with divine love. It is the love of Mom, the love of Mother, the love of the Divine Mother, that you are blessed to have drawn this card today, for that it indicates that you're ready to walk your path of love and light and to set yourself free of anything that you have been harboring and holding in. And so the affirmation, I am cleansed within the violet flame. And so the beautiful violet flame energy is wrapping around you so that you can so that you can just throw it into the flame. Let anything that you need to let into the flame, just let it go and set it free. And I'm going to, of course, give you one of my cards. And this is the way home, Emi. And Emi talks about the endings and the beginnings and walking home. And walking into, see, Zedekiel and Mother Mary energy are right there. And the beautiful rainbow bridge. And that the journey home for our loved ones is a beautiful journey for them. And that because they take that journey into their beautiful light, that they are at peace. And for us to be able to make peace by setting ourselves free of anything that we harbor in our hearts, to free yourself of that, to end those stories that you tell yourself, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and to sit in such beautiful love tonight, for you are wrapped in the arms of the angels. And I hope, Edie, that brings you some comfort tonight. And much love. That's right, Destiny. Everyone needs to do their own work. You're welcome, Edie. You're welcome. So let me end out tonight with a card, with the third card. So the first two cards we did when I first started. So we're going to end out tonight with the third card. We can all do it, Michelle. You just have to choose you today. Many people in here are in my work, or they follow my work, or they've read my book. And from the time I started this way back, I've been on Facebook doing this now for, oh frig, I don't know, since I think 2013 or 14, that so many people's lives have, changed in so many ways. And not saying they have not gone through difficulties, but finding that strength and courage to do the hard stuff is truly there. So our last card for oh my God, you can't make this shit up, guys. This was the first card that we pulled out. I had to check a second card, and I'm like, is the second card going to be the same too? So this was the first card. It was Gemma. So let's bring Gemma back up again, since Gemma wants to come in twice. And so you just can't kind of make this up, right? I'll always live in awe. I'm like a kid. I get so excited about stuff. So this is Gemma, and we're bringing her up. Imperfectly perfect. It's not about perfecting life. It is not waiting for life to come towards you. It is about living life. It is about living right now. And so the other card, since we pulled it, it is that cosmic beauty. It is Thorne. It is the heart healing. When we stop letting our emotions control our lives, because the emotional self is connected to the past self. And that past self has an investment into the past, into the emotional stories that hold you captive, that keep you trapped in stories. And the past is not here. You are here. You are here, right now. And this is your opportunity to live. And all of our loved ones, and I don't care where they come from or how, if they're beings, they keep telling us, you are still here. You still have that breath, that opportunity. Live for us. Do what you need to do to bring your life into the now, not perfect it. The beauty of being human is that you will never perfect it. So it is the impossible. And so we constantly spend so much time trying to do something that is the impossible journey. You cannot perfect it. You can live it pretty damn good. You can live it pretty close to your, being satisfied with it. But it's about contentment. It's about making peace with, I'm pretty damn okay. Right. And so I always work in life coaching from the fact that we are okay where we are today. We're doing the work that we need to do for the other things that have existed within our lives. And so cards don't repeat if the message is not meant to be repeat. So the past card, so this means that a lot of you have been doing this in the past. You're now doing, like, the present moment was all about the illusionist. So some of you guys are fooling yourselves, and it's like anybody can wear the spiritual t-shirt. Anybody can go do a 2-week class or a 1-year class, and they can put a title on themselves, and they can say they're a healer, and they can do this and they can do that. But did you really put the work in? Because the problem is, we all get, like, you get that in my work, I have the 360 wheel. And I'm like, you get to that pivotal point, you're feeling good, you're doing good, life is good. And then you meet somebody, you're like, oh, my life is all good now. I don't need to do this no more. But we can preach the talk, but you have to be willing to walk the walk. And I can tell you, I walk this journey. I'm real, I'm honest, I'm vulnerable. I live in that truth of telling my truth of some days I'm not fucking okay, and it's okay. And other days I'm good. But I do know I don't just wear the t-shirt. I turned that shit inside out and turned it in towards me. And I came home to me. And I said, before I can, be that pillar of you got to do this. I'm not going to preach to anybody that what you got to do. I'm going to say, this is what you can do. This is the journey. But just when you start feeling good, that's when people quit. You've got to be willing to get to the hard stuff, to do the hard stuff, to be able to take the journey through the things of when you have to face yourself, be honest with yourself, be real with yourself. What do I keep contributing to the things that keep this happening in my life? What am I doing? But also, and not just that, when you are grieving, when you're going through a loss, you have to allow yourself to go through each and every stage. You have to give yourself permission. Give yourself enough love and compassion to let yourself be where you need to be today. It is okay. You're not supposed to rush back out into society to make other people fucking comfortable. You're here to be able to create this world, to live in this world, to feel and embody that love, and to be able to live in the sense of knowing that there's so much more to us than what we exist in. Time to start exploring that. Time to start finding that for you. And so don't be the illusionist. Don't be trying to fool people, not wearing the mask, not wearing the persona, not having to, if you're not okay today, you're not okay. It's okay. You're still pretty damn spectacular. And that's the truth. So thank you for being with me. You'll see me again tomorrow morning because I'll be back on my mornings tomorrow morning. This week is a little bit sketchy of times because I am with clients all week this week. So, but I'll be back in the morning, and tomorrow will not be mediumship. Tomorrow will be our inspiration. It'll be our morning chats, our morning revival that we do. So thank you for being with me. Thank you. And thank you to everyone just joining in. You'll have to go back and watch. And to everyone who didn't get a card, I'm sorry. I kind of choose as I'm being told to. Much love. Have a beautiful night and take good care of you. Bye-bye.